Good morning, everybody. I'm Spencer Taylor, and
Max Slaughter.
we're with Trust Tech Consultants. This is our Trust Tech chat of the day, and we are talking about UCaaS. The last couple talks we
What is
had,
UCaaS?
UCaaS, Unified Communications as a Service. The last couple times we did this, I was reading some questions I got from AI. Today, I'm going to do a different approach. Just going to kind of wing it off the top of my head. We're just going to throw some scenarios at you, and you answer, I'll answer, and we'll just kind of get through it.
I like it.
So the question we have that it comes up a lot is we have customers that'll come to us and they're ready. They think they're ready to migrate to UCaaS off-prem based or another UCaaS. Mainly it's off-prem based here lately. And so for those customers, let's talk about the benefits of UCaaS
hmm
over a prem based system. So what are the main things off the top of your head, Matt?
So, I mean, you and I, we were technicians in the field for a long time till I went to the dark side, the sales side. And yeah, basically on-prem, traditional PBX, that's exactly what it is. It's on site. There's a box with some wires hooked up to it, probably in a closet, a broom closet. I mean, we've seen them in bathrooms before. Like,
Lots
it's
of
been some
bathrooms.
really, really weird, but that's what it is. There's a phone system in some facilities. Sometimes it's really nice. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's really, really nice. But every single one of those phones is somehow connected to that phone system, whether it's over a physical connection using Ethernet or, even three wire back in the day with analog and digital. But now it can be voice over IP, but the phone still uses the internal network to talk to that phone system. So that's what a premise phone system is. UCaaS is the step towards putting the brains of the operation in the cloud. And
Mhm.
then the unified portion of it combines a few other technologies together to make multiple streams of communication all work together. That's it in general.
And some of the benefits I think what we always talk about for UCaaS are the mobility piece of it. We for once when we took over the old business and started Trust, it was right in the middle of COVID,
Mhm.
and you would think that would have been a slow time for us, but it wasn't because there was so many companies had people going home and they needed to be able to work remotely. And
Mhm.
with that old premise-based system, that old in-house phone system, just not possible most of the time unless you've got VPN set up to people's homes and they're running off some kind of soft phone that talks back to your network. But for a lot of these companies, no one was going into the office. So
Correct.
we sold some of these
Correct.
UCaaS solutions then.
We did. It was a huge shot in the arm for our business to help that transition, help our customers. And there were customers who could do that on their premise phone systems, but it was complex. There were different licenses that may need to be purchased. There were sometimes ports in your firewall that had to be opened up, and that is creating a whole litany of issues. Sometimes it was a VPN connection, so you had to have the equipment to be able to do that. So it just was more complex. Whereas now with cloud solutions, if someone is a remote worker or you have a secondary site, it doesn't matter. You just ship the phone directly to where it's going to go, plug it into the internet, and it works. If you're in a disaster scenario, you can take it to any facility that has internet. And that's another thing, too. Like premise phone systems were powered by dial tone at that location. If something
Mhm.
happened to that dial tone, well, then you just have, inter office dialing. Whereas now, as long as you have some type of connectivity, some type of internet, whether that's fiber, coax, wireless through satellite or cell phones, correct, then it can work. Why don't you talk about some of the benefits of cell phones with UCaaS?
Well, that's a big one. Like I said, today, if you've got a in-house phone system, prem system is what we're calling it. If your power goes out, well, let me say this. The first question we always get a lot when we start talking about UCaaS and hosted phone solutions is, so I'm dependent on my internet? And the answer is
hmm
yes. But you're already dependent on that internet circuit and that provider. And if that provider goes
Typically.
down, if your data goes down, most of the time your voice went down as well.
hmm
If you lose power in the building, for instance, everything's gone. But if you have a UCaaS solution, the phone system is in the cloud, and you're just
Mhm.
using any device really that can connect back to that internet. So if you've got your 4G, 5G signal here, you've still got a phone.
Mhm.
If you can get somewhere else where there is power, you can work. Working from home, and the biggest thing we found for multi-site customers, when you've got your home office is in Shreveport, Bossier area, and then they got a Minden location and a Homer and some out in Texas and some in Oklahoma. Right now, when that home office goes down, loses internet, whatever, everyone has no phones. Nobody can communicate. Now, there's no one location relying on the next. They're all
Correct.
connected to the cloud.
Correct. And
And I will say this, cloud providers do go down sometimes,
it
but
does happen.
it
Yes,
is
it's not
always very, very
100%.
minimal. And they all have SLAs on getting money back to you and whatnot, but
What's
it
an
is
SL?
very service level agreement.
There you go.
So it is
We got
very
so many
rare that it
acronyms in
happens.
this industry.
Yeah.
Well, another thing you were talking about made me think of this conversation I just had with the customer. You know, part of the unified portion of that is taking different streams, whether it's voice, chat, text, or even fax. No, it's weird. In 2025, we're still talking about faxing, but there's still plenty of businesses that use it, specific industries that are constantly using it. But I was meeting with a client yesterday and we were talking about faxing. Their plain old telephone service, POTS, as we
Mhm.
call it, their POTS line, copper line, has been down for almost a month. And the carrier says they're going to fix it, going to fix it, going to fix it. And it's just not happening. Well, the secret is the FCC has basically said, yeah, they don't have to fix it. And carriers are dragging their feet to do that. So, what I told this
Mhm.
customer is they said, we're missing POs. We're missing purchase orders from customers. We don't know what we're missing. I said, well, here's the beautiful thing about a cloud UCaaS solution. When that fax comes in, it's going to the cloud. The cloud's not down. So, if your facility is down, like you lose power, you lose your primary, secondary, tertiary internet, that fax is still going to be delivered to your platform. You just got to wait till you get power, and it comes back on. Whereas today with traditional faxing, it's sent, and if the receiving end doesn't get it, it doesn't get it, and that's a problem nowadays. So cloud UCaaS solutions have more implication than just is my dial tone working or not.
And you can have that web fax service without moving the complete phone system over. So if you need to move this thing in increments, you can do that. It's not like you have to go everything right now. If you know I've got my dial tone contract doesn't come out to now, but I have a problem with these faxes. We can move that
Hmm.
now and then do the rest when you're ready. It's not all or none. This thing can be a la carte, piece parted together. One of the other things right now that I'm dealing with old prem customers is voicemail to email. Had one come up today. Doesn't seem like that's a big deal, but that's a huge deal for some.
Hmm.
And the issue is the credentials that need to be configured to make that work is not complex, but it's got to be just right or it doesn't work. And as email security gets greater, the phone system must match that. And sometimes the email security will outreach the phone system security if you're not upgrading that phone system constantly. And now it doesn't work anymore. And to get
Well,
that working back is a booger sometimes.
to touch on that, sometimes those phone systems are end of life. They
Hmm.
cannot be supported.
Correct.
You know, there are multiple manufacturers who we have supported in the past that have either gone out of business, went bankrupt, sold their business, chosen to go a different route, or just that division of a large electronic company, they shut that division. And so, boom, you're no longer getting updates for security. You're no longer getting updates for features and all those type of things. And that's where a lot of our customers have had problems and have helped facilitate a move to UCaaS because, like, guys, that's now a piece of equipment that has vulnerabilities and
Correct.
hit a
Absolutely.
threshold on how far it will take you.
A lot of voicemail systems in premise-based phone systems were always hackers' number one choices to get into a network because they could call
Oddly enough,
in,
yes.
they'd know whatever type code to dial, and I don't know how they did it, but they did it many times, and
But
we
they
had
did
to
it.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some clever guys and
and so
gals.
touching on that same point there about voicemail to email and those type of features with UCaaS hosted solutions, that's not a thing anymore. There's nothing to configure.
Mm.
We're going to give an email address for every user, and you best gonna have to turn voicemail to email off if you don't want it. It's gonna come on.
Yeah,
There's no changing it. Also, we talked about having to constantly upgrade to keep the UCaaS solution upgrades itself. It's always upgraded. Your
it happens in the
phone
background. Yeah.
phone over nighttime or whatever will grab its firmware updates and whatnot,
Mhm.
so it stays. Banks and hospitals that are worried about they get audited and things like that. All these devices, they meet all the security requirements to pass any audit that you need to pass. There's not a lot of reason to stay in a premise-based phone system anymore. And the biggest thing we hear all the time is it ain't broke.
Right,
It's
right.
worked.
It's
I've been
not
using it for
broke.
25 years. Why change now?
You
What do you
know,
say? What do you
and
say when someone says
budgetary
that?
well, budgetary questions and those things are always the reasons for, well, I don't wanna do it. You know, sometimes there's FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt about
Mhm.
making a transition, moving away from something that hasn't, you know, had any issues over a decade or anything like that. But, I think we've laid out a lot of reasons to make those
Absolutely.
type of transitions. I think, all this is well and good and all these things are exciting, but at the end of the day, people can just go buy some type of UCaaS solution. Spencer, what are we doing different? What are we doing to help our clients as we navigate the waters with them and we take them on a journey?
Well, we put ourselves in the middle. A lot of UCaaS suppliers, providers, and I'm not gonna say they don't want us in the middle. They are not designed for us to be in the middle. We put ourselves in the middle, and we do that for a reason. All these acronyms you've heard us spit out, they're gonna spit all those out on a phone call. I need a list of
Mhm.
your DIDs. Give me all your bill copies. How do you want this? Fill out this database sheet. And it's
What
so to
codec
us,
do you want?
yeah,
What
this is
what
stuff.
natting are you doing? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, this is all stuff to us that makes sense. We've done this many times before, and so what we do is we get on those calls with you, and we're going to help you fill out
Mhm.
that database. If not, do it for you. If we're the ones that manage your premise-based phone system for years, we probably know more about it than you do at this point. And then we'll
Mhm.
go over that with the customer. We have a person, project manager. We assign, not a design, assigned to every team, every project, and then they will work with you to get that database filled out to make sure that we're on top of all these meetings. And normally, what a lot of these providers during their kickoff call, that's just where they gather information. A lot of times, we'll already have that information done, and we just provide that during the kickoff call, and that
Mhm.
skips another 2 meetings that you would have had to get all this information in. We're turning it in on the first meeting, and that just means all the provisioning on the phones could get done faster. The phones with most providers, most suppliers will come to your site, ship to your site, no matter the location, already ready to work. You just plug them in. As long as you've got,
And the customers are gonna pay a premium for us to facilitate and partner with that supplier, right?
absolutely, they're going to pay free 99.
Free 99, I love
Free
it.
99. Now, this is just something that we
It's the
offer.
same price. It's the same price. Yeah, it comes as part of the package of our project management. When you buy a UCaaS solution through us, we're gonna help you determine which one fits, the customer need, and then we do all the things with you. Now, there are some instances where there could be some chargeable things like boots on the ground or cabling.
Some install
Cabling still
cost,
has to be done, potentially, but for the
and
most
it
part,
and
just for
depending
us to project manage, it's
depending on the
free.
supplier, you may or may not pay an install cost anyway. And then sometimes the
Mhm,
supplier will send boots on the ground to help facilitate putting phones
mhm,
out and plugging them in. That all depends on the supplier and how much help you're needed. A lot of places have a team of people that can help plug in phones anyway, so you don't need that.
mhm.
So, but we are there to help. And as far as getting everything ready up to that point, that is all just part of what we do, and that comes as no extra cost to you. You purchasing through us is enough payment for us, right there, because we want this to be pleasurable for you and easy for you. So when we get on that call with ABC provider, because I'm not going to say any names, providers' names right now, but and so I'm making. I hope there's not an ABC provider out there. So when we're on
There
that
probably
call with
is.
ABC provider, we're not with them. We're with you. We're a part of your team on
We're
that
on your
call.
side of the table. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. And so we're going to ask those hard questions. Hey, what about this? When are y'all going to have this ready? We know what to expect during the installs and the project all the way to the end till the numbers get ported. And then one of the most important things we've had to realize is disconnecting the old service. Is
Disconnect.
something no
Yeah.
one ever thinks about.
Yep.
Which
Absolutely.
is
So how do customers get in touch with us?
mainly a website,
Mhm.
allttc.com. That's allttc.com, or call our main number, 318-212-0012. I'm working on getting a East Texas number worked up, a 903 number here pretty soon, as we're kind of migrating this way. I actually live in the East Texas area, so we're making a push here as well. But we can service anyone, anywhere. We can help you. And if you
Anywhere in
just
the
need,
nation. And we actually have a couple of international opportunities right now
mhm,
too, so we're super excited about that. You can also get a hold of us via email at sales, that's
right.
sales with an S, at allttc.com.
And if you're not sure if you're ready to buy and you just want more information, we'll absolutely do that. And that is 100% free to you. We will help you with basic consulting things like that. No problem. Answering questions. Email us, call us, ask for Mac. Mac is our lead sales guy. I am our operations. I work operations side of the house, but I've been doing some sales here lately. It is pretty fun actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though we're general tech consultants these days, telephony is our legacy. And so we
Mhm.
love talking about this type of stuff. So we'd love for you to reach out and
One thing I want to leave them with, I tell everybody this, especially that customer that says, I don't ever want to get out of this thing. I love this premise-based system. It's never broken. Sir, ma'am, you will eventually come out of that phone system. It's inevitable.
it's
The
a matter of
industry is
time.
moving that direction. Um, like he talked about, faxes are still a thing, but they're becoming less of a thing.
Hmm.
Everything is moving towards the cloud, and it's not the way we necessarily wanted it to happen, but that's the way it's happening. And you will move out. And I tell everybody, let's move out on your own terms. Let's help you move out
Hmm.
on your own terms and not because something breaks and you're forced to move out, because then it gets pretty messy. We've done it many times. We can get you through it pretty much unscathed, but it is hard. We don't want downtime. So
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for watching this episode. We appreciate it.
thank you, Mac.